Hello everyone, I'm here with Guided Dice, probably the best player in the game, certainly the best player I know, wins races all the time, recently won a big event for GGG, and I want to talk to you about how I shaved off myself several hours of campaign with his help. So, Mr. Guy, what do you think is the best build to level up as Druid next season?
Yeah, so ED Contagion with BONESTORM is already the strongest build in the campaign right now, and because Druid is so close to the Witch part of the tree, we can play that on
True.
Druid as well. So the worst thing about playing on a new class, right, is the new skills, because we have no idea if they're good or what.
Of course.
So being able to play something that we know is good is going to help us avoid situations of like having to respec because we took some shitty passive tree nodes, or like we took some useless support gems for some useless skill.
And then you're bricked.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, and the build is now on just Witch, but the moment that we have also the option for Druid, we'll make a copy and just have the pathing from Druid to the Witch side. Is it... So, can we talk about like the most problematic aspects of leveling? And something that has set me back a lot was, for example, weapons and gear in general. I didn't understand how important having a good weapon would save you literally hours in the game. And what are you looking for?
Yeah, so weapons super important. First thing you want is like in Act 1, you're going to be looking for a +1 from the vendor.
Yeah.
So like +1 spell skills or +1 chaos skills, +1 physical spell skills. And that's basically going to increase your damage by like 40 to 50%.
Wow.
So +1's most important thing. The percent spell damage that you get on weapons is nowhere near as important, but it is like nice if you happen to get it as well.
Yeah, I think both. How often do you check town? And of course, I'll mention that we do have a full guide. Well, he has a full guide on how to minimize town time.
Yeah, so basically you want to go back to town whenever a quest requires you to. So like after you kill the Rust King,
Yeah.
you're gonna TP back to town, check vendors for +1, or after killing Lachlan, times like that. So yeah.
So never go to town unless you have to, because of the quest. That's pretty much
Yeah,
one
pretty
of the
much.
rules.
Yep.
Second question. I made a lot of mistakes with my management of currency. How do you craft a good weapon? When do you craft a good weapon? Because for attack damage builds, there's specific levels that you look for, specific new types of, your bow or whatever. How is that for spellcasters?
Yeah, so for spellcasters, it does depend a little bit on what currency you happen to find.
Okay.
If you only have like one regal, I would save that until you get a +2 weapon. And then you would regal your +2 weapon, spend all your exalts as well. If you get like super lucky and you get like 2 regals in Act 1, you can chuck your regal onto a +1 as well.
One of the things that is very strong on physical weapon is increasing the quality. Is it even worth to like stop and disenchant magical weapons for the, I think it's called Arcane Etcher, or doesn't really do anything?
Yeah, you can do that. I don't think you're going to be finding many high quality ones, but if you happen to, then yeah, that can be good to do.
All right, so we mentioned also how you can break your build, and that can be very bad. But also like having a good start and creating the right support gems and getting enough skill gems at the right times is super important. Can we talk a little bit about the first few levels? Like where do we find my support gems, etc.?
Yeah, sure. So first skill gem we're going to get is from Renly after killing the Miller, and we're going to take Contagion. Then we're going to go into Clearfell. In the Clearfell, there is a chest that gives a guaranteed level 1 gem, and we're going to use that to get Spark. In terms of first support gems, we are going to get that from the Witch in the Grellwood, and we're going to be taking Unleash and using that on Spark.
Okay, that's very interesting. And then I see here at level 6 we introduce a lot more things. And I also don't see Spark anymore. Now I see like Chaos Bolt. Do I need to get a Withered Wand every time?
You don't. So basically you're just going to use whatever weapon you happen to find. If it's a good withered one, that's cool. But you can also use whatever staff, so you might be using lightning bolt, firebolt, or like just whatever you happen to find.
For essence drains, I have a couple of questions. So the first support gems you have here is chain, but this says 50% less damage with hits. Is it really worth it?
Yeah, so we're mostly not using essence drain for single target anyway. It's just a clearing skill.
Okay.
And chain is going to help us clear the mobs. So if you don't have chain, usually what happens is you cast ED on the mob and it instantly dies, so we can't get the contagion off.
Oh, okay.
But if we have chain on, then it's super easy to get contagion off and then spread the essence drain.
And then I see that on contagion now we have unleash on it. So the combo is essence drain first and then cast contagion on those after. Orb of Storm, what is the role of Orb of Storm? I actually never seen any guide having it.
Yeah, so Orb of Storms is pretty much just to help us on bosses. It lets us shock the boss.
And Ravenous Swarm, what is the role of Ravenous Swarm? And of course, I guess we get this after the King Enemies, the fight at like level 10, 11.
Yeah, so when we initially get Ravenous Swarm, it's not going to be very useful. The point of Ravenous Swarm is to put in Corrosion when you hit level 14, and that will break the armor of bosses, so it'll increase the damage of BONESTORM by like 20 to 30%.
Okay, that's a lot. Now that I look at the level 14 to 57 page, I see that we have BONESTORM and we have Essence Drain, but we have different weapon set. Let's talk a little bit about that, because BONESTORM is a physical damage skill, meanwhile Essence Drain is chaos. How does that work?
So basically on the passive tree, we're going to be using our weapon set points to spec into chaos damage on weapon set 1.
Okay.
Where we're going to have our chaos damage weapon, and then on weapon set 2, we spec into physical damage for BONESTORM.
Makes perfect sense, and I can see here that we simply spend 1 attribute point so that we can go past physical and chaos and then come back and get that with our skill set points. And for people that do not know or understand the skill set points, basically every time you get +2 points from, for example, the Crowbell fight, or by returning the flute to Una, that's when you get skill set points. In total it's 24, and I will also introduce in the description a guide about when to find all your campaign buffs, the permanent ones, and where to get them, so you guys can track that. On top of course, also the guide about how to minimize downtime. Okay, also want to ask about the BONESTORM. One of the biggest downside of BONESTORM is being slowed down while using it and dying. Can you speak a little bit about the trick on how to use it correctly?
So the trick with BONESTORM, so usually when you're channeling BONESTORM, you have a massive movement speed penalty, right?
Yeah.
But if you channel it for like half a second and then let go and then start channeling it again, you basically get into like a bug where you don't have the movement speed penalty while channeling.
I didn't know it was a bug. That's I assume
it's a bug.
It's been only one season. It's been there all the time.
No, it's been there since the game came out.
Maybe we don't make this video then. We don't tell GGG about it.
I think GGG knows. I've used it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So we have brutality because of course it's a physical damage. But what if I have like a lot of times, because I have like extra chaos damage or like extra lightning damage on my weapon, is it still worth using brutality, or should I use a different support gem?
So if you have lightning damage, then you can replace brutality with living lightning.
All right.
Yeah.
Then we have on it Zenith and consider casting. Zenith is a little bit hard to use, but I noticed that when I'm using BONESTORM, because I channel it for so long, usually I go back to over 90% of maximum mana. But does my mana need to be above 90% when I leave my click, or when I start casting the skill? Does it snapshot?
So when you leave the click, I'm pretty sure you need to be above 90% maximum mana.
Super easy then.
Yeah.
Essence Drain has Swift Affliction as the next support gems that we take. and Intense Agony 2, I think. BONESTORM, again for the shock, contagion, unleash, and magnified area. And I see that now we have also blasphemy, and you have despair. I've seen every curse being used in this setup. Temporal chains and what do you think is the best curse to have, and why? Why are you using despair?
Yeah, so you can kind of just use whatever you enjoy using. Despair is just going to help you clear trash mobs easier. But like if you want defense, you can go for like Temp Chains or Enfeeble.
Then I see that you have not only up to campaign, but even further. So for who does not know, generally you finish campaign at about level 58. And I would say let's add a little bit of information to the viewers, and maybe we can add something about it in the guide. Let's talk about levels, because that's something that destroyed my campaign time before. What type of like level difference between the map and the player are we looking for?
Yeah, so I actually have like a full written guide on that as well.
Let's add one more guide.
The XP penalty threshold is 3 + 1 per 16 levels of character level. So like level 1 to 15, it's a threshold of 3, and then when you hit 16, it goes up to 4. When you hit level 32, it goes up to 5, and so on.
If I'm level 14, the mobs should be level 17, and you can check that by pressing tab. I believe it's on the top right of your screen. All right, that's exactly. Very important. So at level 58, we finish campaign, and so we can have 3 actual level, I guess. So 6 levels in total, because 3 + 1 every 16. So in total, by the time you finish campaign, you want to have 6 level below the zone. And this build is also good up till tier 15.
Yep.
And that's well, of course, I can read here that you can get to tier 15 in under 5 hours. But that, of course, is the best speedrunner for Lich in the game. But still, I think having a good weapon and knowing how many levels to stay and having a good build is super important. It will shave off many hours of many people. For sure has done that for me. And thank you very much, Guy, for being here and sharing your knowledge with us. I hope you all have a good day.